Hey, what's up guys? My name is Edmond here and welcome to Eddy's Reviews, where we do reviews of action, adventure, sci-fi, and animation movies. So if this kind of content interests you, please consider subscribing. Stick around, let's get right into the video. So today is Action Day and we're going to be talking about the Suicide Squad. The director of this movie is James Gunn, and there are so many main characters in this movie actually, because there's no particular character who I'm going to say is the main character, but there's featuring of John Cena, there's Harley Quinn, and there's Bloodsport. So this is the general summary of this movie. Supervillains Harley Quinn, Bloodsport, Peacemaker, and a couple of nutty prisoners from Belle Reve prison all join the super secret, super shady Task Force X, and they are all dropped in a remote enemy-infused island known as Corto Maltese. So just from the summary which we have heard, we can hear that all of these supervillains, they joined together and they were dropped down in this island, and they all had one mission to go and do whatsoever, and I'm not going to spoil it because this is a spoiler-free review. So as they all were dropped in this island, I mean, this was like the beginning scene of the movie and it was pretty interesting. So the highest part of this movie that I can recommend to you is the beginning of this movie as well as the ending of this movie. So these two credits were kind of interesting because it was something that made me to feel like, okay, this is a nice concept which they have brought into this movie, as well as it was kind of humorous as well, and it was bringing me some kind of, like, the first scene of the movie was bringing some kind of doubt, because I was like, okay, this is happening, like what next is going to happen, and the movie actually, as it was going, it kind of answered all of those questions which were kind of building up in my mind. So pretty much the beginning of this movie as well as the ending credits of this movie were pretty much interesting, and it was a nice concept. Another thing which I'll want to note about this movie is this movie has a ton of supervillains who come together, and all of these supervillains are, I think they were almost about 10 in number and above, close to 17 or something. So all of these supervillains, one interesting thing about them is all of them were unique because they brought them from different places. So they took them from wherever they were. As I said in the summary, that some were in prison, so they brought them from prison, and they were all taken in prison because they had something special or they had committed some kind of crime because of their special abilities. So they all brought these special abilities which they had, and they were on this suicide mission as the Suicide Squad. And it was pretty interesting how all of them, as they were unique, they all used these unique abilities which they had to make this movie to come to a reality. So that is pretty much something interesting, because bringing all of these characters together was kind of interesting, and they all brought maybe some of their humor and whatsoever, their kind of crazy abilities, because some of them, the abilities were like, you really sit and you're wondering, is this really an ability that a superhero is going to use to get on this mission? So it was kind of interesting to see how some of the abilities were really bad, or they looked really kind of amazing but didn't really do something nice, and it was pretty much a very interesting concept. Another thing which I noted about this movie is how the message in the movie and the acting was given out. So it's not like what we always get from almost every other movie, because the way in which every particular scene in the movie was giving out, the message in which it was giving out, it was given out in some kind of a different way, because even some kind of writings to tell you what is coming, it was given in some kind of interesting manners, which is something we have not seen, as well as the transitions from one scene of the movie to another scene. So this is something that I give a lot of credits to this movie, because it went out very unique to do something which is very unique and something which we have not seen so much or very frequent in most action movies that come out nowadays. This leads me into talking about a particular character in this movie who I really loved so much, and it's the way this character was acting is something that I expected, because, and this person is Harley Quinn. So if you have watched Birds of Prey, which if you haven't watched, it's a big recommendation for you. Harley Quinn in Birds of Prey is this kind of supervillain who, she's just kind of, she's all about humor, the way she talks, the way she looks dark, the way she acts, and whenever she gets maybe captured and she gets liberated from this capture, she literally kicks guys' ass so well. And that same aspect of her was also brought into this movie, and it's something that I expected, and this movie brought that aspect out so well in a very colorful manner as I was also expecting. So Harley Quinn, whenever she gets her liberty, that is when you really see her true colors. She gets out, she beats guys, she kills guys, she lets them down in very, very brutal ways, and it's something that I expected, and it was brought forth to me in this movie in a very amazing way. Another character in this movie who I really enjoyed her acting so very well was Viola Davis, who acted the character of Amanda, and she was like the controller of this Suicide Squad. And why did I like her so much in this movie is because she acted a series which I watched previously, and this series is How to Get Away with Murder. And in this series, she was this kind of a lawyer who was leading students, teaching them a lot about murder, how to get away with it, and so on. And the way she was acting in this movie was this kind of authoritative lady who is very good at leading, who she wants her voice to be heard. She's very good at what she does, and all of these aspects of her was brought into this movie as she was leading these people. She was very authoritative. She speaks very little words, but you find how powerful they are. So I really enjoyed this lady's acting, and the way she brought it in this movie, I think she's one of the best people who could have really acted this particular part, and she did it so very well. And this same aspect of her that I said she was in How to Get Away with Murder, she brought that same aspect into this movie. She made it so well. I mean, very interesting, and I really just like every part of the movie in which she is, because I liked her acting in that movie, and bringing it into this movie, I think she was just the best person who could act this particular part, and I'm so happy that she was the one who did it, and she did it very well. I want to praise the director at this particular part, that he actually did a very good job into bringing some kind of humor into this movie, and he did that so well with a couple of characters. And this leads me into maybe some kind of mixed feelings or bad feelings about this movie, to saying that, okay, this movie is recommended just for adults, and if you are planning on maybe watching this movie with your kids, it's not recommended, because some parts of this movie has some kind of dark humor, because you understand what I'm saying, because it refers to some kind of acts or some kind of scenes where the reference is leading to sex and all those kind of things, and it's something which some people will like and enjoy watching, while other people will not enjoy watching it. So I just wanted to note that out and let you know about it. So if you're watching this movie, expect to see maybe to get some parts in the movie where you have some kind of dark humor, some kind of references and so on, which if you don't like, then this movie might not be the best fit for you. But if you have no problem with it, you are pretty much going to enjoy this movie so much. With that said, in general, this movie was a very amazing movie. I really had an amazing time watching this movie, and the 2 hours which this movie is, it was very amazing, and it was worth all that time. So this movie was well packaged, it was well done, it was well shot. I really loved most of these characters, as I said, like Harley Quinn, who acted so very well. She was very stylish. The kind of jazz music that plays in the background when she's kicking guys' ass up and so on, as well as Viola Davis, she acted as well, so well, and it was something which I liked, her character of acting. Even John Cena, you know, he's this kind of funny guy, and the way he acts, some kind of things which he does, they are so funny, so interesting, and he also brought this kind of character of him into this movie. Very nice. King Shark 2 was a very amazing character in this movie. I mean, he was also one of the characters who brought some kind of humor, because he didn't talk so much, but some parts which he kind of talked in the parts were so nice, so amazing, and I really had a nice time maybe watching his own parts in this movie as well. Bloodsport, he was also very amazing. His unique abilities and His accuracy in this movie was also very nice. So in general, this movie was very good. It was well done. And if you have watched this movie, please let me know what you think about it in the comment section down below. So this is all I have for you guys today. If you love what you've seen and you long to see more, please let me know in the comment section down below. And also, this movie is a big recommendation for you. Also, don't forget to check out the cards here to get to the previous video which I made. And don't forget to subscribe, destroy the like button. And on that note, catch you guys in the next one.